One two one two one two one two. So we live right now. I'm doing a little something a little different. Kind of setting up to do some live streaming, and so while I'm testing out my live streaming situation here, I'm also gonna do my initial sort of reactions and first impressions of the Isla Instruments S2400. So the S2400, I mean, you probably know what's up with the S2400. It's the spiritual godchild of the original SP1200 and SP12. And you can see from how it looks, and excuse me, you can see from how it looks in the format, it's kind of the spiritual godchild of the SP1200. But, I kind of think, when you have classic things like this, a lot of people like to say, oh, but it doesn't sound like the so-and-so. Oh, but it doesn't act like the so-and-so. I see the same thing with say, for instance, the Mustang Mach-E, right? And it's not a Mustang. Who cares? Certainly not me. But I understand the purists that might say those kinds of things. But I think a different perspective is if you switch gears a little bit and decide to look at it for what it is. And I think, in specific to the Isla Instruments S2400, this is a thing unto itself. I mean, if you don't think of a machine as an MPC, why think of the Isla Instruments S2400 as a SP1200? I just feel like, it has a certain format like that, but this is something different, and it's modern and it's kind of beautiful. So at any rate, I just wanted to jump on. Let me know out there. I figure there's a few of you all checking it out. Can you hear my vocals? Can you hear the music that's playing? Because I really want to be sure that you can see and hear everything. Let's see, where's the comments? All right, so I'll check it afterwards. But let's get into this Isla Instruments joint. Cool. Okay, so I'm good. So let's check this out. Let's go here. And by the way, I haven't been on in a while, and I got a little bit of a different studio situation going on. I removed a lot of stuff, and so I'm down to just a few pieces and really digging into this joint. So the Isla Instruments S2400 used to be the SP2400, so sometimes that's why I pause before I say SP2400. Now, so anyway, the S2400, that's what you're listening to right now. So here's the deal: 8 pads, 4 banks, 1632. That gives you 32 pads, right? You have mutes and solos. I love that it has these mutes and solos right here, and the pads feel really nice. For reference, I definitely think they feel as nice as MPC pads, and perhaps a little better. It's a little different. I like this little divot that's in the buttons for the color. You can change the color of any of these buttons, however you want to do. And then these sit up like thick pads. If you ever had to go to MPC stuff, these sit up like thick pads on the surface of the machine. But then these mute and solo buttons, which also double as sequencer buttons, right behind them. So you have the pad here, then you have the mute and solo buttons right here. Those sit a slight bit lower. So you kind of realize that that's a different functionality. I have made a mistake and hit, one when I meant to hit the other, but really that's a matter, I think, of me getting used to the machine. Give me a second. I'm gonna turn up some music and I'm gonna drink a little bit of water so I can clear my throat a bit. But then we're gonna get into, some of the other stuff that I dig about this joint. So we have our solo right there. That's the bass line. And I can mute that. And you can mute other stuff. So it's 8 voice polyphony. And, that's the dope thing about it. I think it has limitations that I wouldn't expect. Like at first I was like, yo, why are my sounds choking other sounds and stuff? But that's also all in getting used to what it is. And I realized, oh, it's 8 voice polyphony. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not one to read the manual. I'll excuse me, I'm sorry. I'll read for specific things and then I'll jump around and just try to do, right? So 8 voice polyphony is what this joint has. And at first that threw me off. I was thinking, damn, why not 16 or 32? But anyway, 8 voice, this is about just drums and samples and just digging in and making something dope. And with those limitations and polls, you can make a lot of stuff dope. So it has 8 voice polyphony, but you also have MIDI out and you have, I think it has audio over USB and I'm not sure. I'll have to double check that. But at any rate, you have this nice bright LED screen, OLED screen here. Somebody was saying, yo, that screen is a little too small. I don't know that I thought about that too much before getting it, but once I have it, I don't think it's too small because everything you need has a button or a function right on here, right on the surface. So for instance, if I want to change the pitch of that on this, on the side here, you have level, pitch, envelope, loop, slice, multi-mode, and bank. Like I said, you get 4 banks, bank A, B, C, D. And also this multi-mode, for all my MPC heads out there, this is akin to 16 level. So you can hit a sample and then go to multi-mode and notice that pitch and multi-mode are set up. So now that samples across all 8 of these pads, but it's at different pitches. And on top of that, you now get where you can change the pitches by moving the sliders up and down. Let's see. Oh, did it make me a liar? Anyway, it has the pitches. I'm still learning the machine, but at any rate, you have all these different pitches going across, and then the filters individually. And the dope thing about this, the filter, the way it's set up, it's on dual concentric knobs. And what that means is you have a knob up top, but then when you go to the bass, that's a separate knob. So that base of the knob twists independently. That is resonance of the filter. So you have the top part of the knob is cut off, the bass is resonance. Lots of resonance, then the cutoff. Right? So you can get some really fun, excuse me, y'all, I'm sorry for the cough, but you get some really fun stuff going on like that, right? So, like I said, for MPC heads out there, this is akin to 16 levels. Then I can come out of there, go back to pitch. Well, I'm probably doing something weird there, but at any rate, you can tell I'm just getting used to it. I've had the machine less than a week, and like I said, I'm not one for reading stuff. But if you got questions, if I got answers, I'll give them to you. Otherwise, I'll come back and do like a refresher. But my first impressions was like, holy crap, this joint. People say all the time, this thing is built like a tank. That don't be true a lot. In this case, it's true. This joint is built like a tank. It's fully metal. The sides are aluminum and the casing is all metal. I mean, even the crossfaders, the faders here, I believe those are metal with plastic encasing in the inside. These buttons feel incredible the way they click. I'm gonna turn it down so you can kind of hear the click. And they're nice. I mean, they have, let's see if I can get a little bit closer here. Like I said, I'm testing a new streaming setup as well, so bear with me a little bit. Let's see. All right. So if I cover up that a little bit, you can see, well, maybe you can't see as good as I want you to, but they're kind of concave in the center, these buttons. And that's really dope because it makes it really comfortable. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, yo, I don't like all them same looking buttons. But that's such a nitpicky thing. And the fact of the matter is, I think that's the like the guttural reaction to new devices and new things. What's up, Jay Beats and Waves? What's up, Jimmy Smut Tech, Mike Delic? Anybody else is out there, thanks for joining to check it out. So at any rate, these buttons are really nice. The thing is built like a tank. You have let's go to the website and see if I can kind of show you. I feel like a lot of you all may already be familiar with some of the specs, so I don't necessarily want to get too deep into that stuff. But I will go ahead, and this thing is 14.99 now. It started at a 19.99. I mean 9.99, and the price went up to 14.99. And what's dope about this is Brad from Isla Instruments, he's distributing all this stuff himself. So this is not, this is, you know, him just doing his thing. And I'm proud of the job he did. I remember seeing him at NobCon a couple years ago, and he had the prototype of this joint under his arm, and I dragged him to Afro Rack's booth. And I put it on the table and I lifted like, holy crap, that joint is built like nothing that I've ever had before. Like you have to go back 20, 30 years to get drum machines and synths that were built like this. So at any rate, I thought that once they did the full production run, that they would probably start to think about cost of materials and stuff and start to say, okay, well, maybe this could be hard plastic and that could be this or that and the other. But nope, Brad didn't take any shorts, and it's just a gorgeous machine. So let me see if I could get some of the specs. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to go too crazy about the specs and stuff because I think you all can go out there and kind of check this stuff out for yourself. So it has MIDI in out through. It has 2/4-inch stereo outputs, 8/4-inch individual audio outputs, which is dope because then you can assign some stuff to certain outs and then process them separately because it's not any effects in here just yet. And I think they're going to be getting around to that. But at any rate, let's flip back to this joint. So I got this and I was wowed to see how great it turned out. And I'm even more floored to see how it sounds, yo. This joint sounds incredible. And I'm not even just, you know, Brad is a homie, Brad is a friend. But to be fair, this product, beyond who he is, I mean, beyond who he is and the fact that we know him, this is a damn good product. You have two inputs on the back, or two sets of inputs. One set of inputs, it goes through a certain DAC, and you know it kind of really take the time to simulate the hardware, not even simulate, but to recreate some of the hardware and the important stuff that makes the sound of the old S1200, SP1200. And so you can do the classic sample engine or the more modern hi-fi sample engine. So the classic one, for those that don't know, the SP1200 was at like 26 kilohertz and 12-bit. So they emulated that in the classic sample engine. So what I've been doing here, and I'll play some of this stuff here, the first things I did is I sampled myself playing, you know, Eurorack stuff and arpeggiator stuff. And then I also had the performer here. This is the product that I make with Modbap Modular. So Modbap Modular is my company, and I make the performer. So the performer here is kind of like, think of an SP1200 in Eurorack form, and I have it in this nice, neat case, courtesy of Curry Cases. So at any rate, I have a wax simulation here, and we'll turn that up. What this wax simulation does is it introduces warble like a record. You get some noise and some other things, some sort of popping and hissing artifacts. And when you run music through it, then you're kind of simulating as if you're sampling off old records. So I did that. I played stuff off of my synths right over there. That's the Moog 1 right there. So I played stuff off of there in the Hydrosynth, but I had this running so it sounds like it's coming off a sampler. I mean, off of a record. And then so when I sample it, you get those artifacts and stuff. And then to be able to sample it through the 12-bit engine, the classic engine, and then drop the pitch and be able to filter and stuff, and you start to get some of the best. The sound is unmatched, all right? So let's stop that and let's go to track 4. Let's see what else. Can y'all hear the music? Let me know. So you can go to different banks. Let me see. So these are some of the sounds that I did that with. And you can hear. It sounds a little dirty because of the way I sampled it. Where's the other part? Here. So, I mean, it doesn't take you a lot to kind of get a very nostalgic vibe, but at the same time, I still feel like it's its own thing. And I've been having so much fun just kind of zooming through this joint, creating, let's go to another, so 9. We're on sequence 9. I didn't plan on doing this, but let me see if I could just kind of make a little something right quick. So we're on sequence 9, the pattern length. Let's change the pattern length to 4 bars. Yes. See how easy that is to change the pattern length. I already have time signature and that stuff set the way I like. You have swing, metronome, and all that. So it's ready to record. And let's see what I have here. Let's go to some of the drums. And yo, to anybody I see, let's see. Yeah, so Hypnosis Beats. Yeah, that's been a lot of people's experience, but I haven't heard anybody be displeased once they get it. And then when you know that it's really like a small boutique company, you got one guy, a couple of programmers, and a couple of guys helping build. And this is not like a mass operation like a Kai or something, or Machine or something where you have massive amounts of these things coming out. These guys are getting 400 of them at a time and putting them together one at a time, day by day. You know, they come partially assembled with as far as the electronics on the inside, but they're doing all of this other assembly one at a time. So yeah, unfortunately it's a little bit of a wait, but I guarantee you'll be happy when you get it. So at any rate, you see how quick it is just to kind of start to build something on here, and then you can just kind of go. You could just kind of keep going around and build stuff. All right, let's keep moving through. Oh, that's a good good example. This is something I've sampled, and I had some of the how much these joints are costing. Initially, they were $9.99, and now they cost $14.99. So you hear those little artifacts on there. That's partially the the wax simulation from here, from the performer, and that's partially sampling and down pitching. The magic that this machine puts on it. All right, so just simple enough. Didn't really plan on trying to even make any beats, but just wanted to show you how easy it is to kind of start going in there and doing that stuff. Back to that familiar sort of 16 level thing, right? And so, I mean, you can see, right? Anyway, that's just, I didn't come on to make a beat. I really just wanted to tell you like how impressed I am with this joint and just how much fun I've been having, just making beats and digging in. Let's see. I'll just play around with some stuff right now. Now, also, I have this angled. You might be able to tell a little better there. I have this sitting on a laptop stand because it's angled. And I had it sitting flat too. I'm not sure which one I like better. But yo, dig these metal sides. These are pure aluminum. Like, it's crazy. Now, the dude who does this case right here as well makes the wood sides for them. So if you go on the Isla site, you'll be able to pay for wood sides for these as well. So yeah, at any rate, listen, this is really a couple things. My initial reaction was like, holy shit, this is dope. That's all I have to say. Secondly, anybody that knows me know how hard I've been rocking with, I'm an MPC dude, and I've been rocking heavy with the Force for the last couple years. Now, the Force is still, with me, pun intended. It's right there in that case, right there. Right, just for now, because here's what I know. With this having 8-voice polyphony, I kind of like the limitation, and I'm just going to drop down and do sample music and sample stuff off of my Eurorack case. Let's, for those that don't know, I don't know if this will come off good, but let's see. Eurorack case over here. And another. So anyway, I'm just going to keep sampling stuff, and I haven't even touched the MIDI yet, but I'll be getting into the MIDI here soon, and then I'll see how that part goes. And at some point, I'll form some more articulate opinions about it. But for right now, I just want to let everybody know how impressed I am, how much fun I'm having with this joint, and that's not something I say lightly, because I know that people will go out and spend their loot. Can you get those same settings in Machine? I don't know. I don't use Machine. However, I think you can simulate almost anything if you got access to plugins. on whatever machine, MPC, Force, but hold tight though. Those joints are not like this. And the sound that I've been getting off of this is so rich and so warm and just heavy. I mean, sampling kicks and stuff in here, sampling stuff into here just hit different, bro. It hits different. This is not for the faint of heart. Like you get this, you got a nice, really nice bit of kit. And it's not just a placebo effect. This joint has a sound. The fact of the matter is anything that you're using that is more like a DAW, and the MPC software is more like a DAW, the machine software is more like a DAW, Ableton is more like a DAW. Those all have controllers, and they have a pristine sound for the ones. I know Machine, the newer Machine, and the later MPCs and Force have the audio interface on the back. They have a really modern sort of sound, and they sound great, but they sound, very modern. This joint sounds like it's a blast from the past, but still modern though, if that makes sense. It's a different beast. This joint hit different, man. So I'll take that to the bank. I'll tell anybody that asks. It's not what you think, and it's not like, I could just get that. You could get some approximation of the S1200 sound somewhere, but this ain't even really. This is like, it gives you the aliasing and the filter, and being able to drop it and pitch it down so you can hear the alias and you can sample through the classic joint. It gives you all of that will give you a very similar sound to the SP1200. But this has a sound of its own. I'm not even playing games with folks. No question. I'm not even here to debate it. For anybody that might have it and might not think so, listen, I haven't actually owned a SP1200. I had a good friend when I was MCing real heavy. He was my man that made music, and he had one. So I do know the sound. This gets you really close to that sound. But I personally think it just has its own sound because it's all modern. And they just really put a lot of work. And not only that, the swing, like I had never thought about it. The SP1200 swings on 8th notes. And most times we put swing on other machines at 16th notes. But SP1200 had a real swing that was distinctive. So what they've done in here is not just like the sample engine. They give you the classic sample engine and the modern sample engine, but they also give you the opportunity to change the way it swings. The classic way, where it swings on 8th notes, and the more modern way where it swings on 16ths. They did it right. And look, Night Rider situation in sleep mode, right? So yeah, man, I'm not gonna hold y'all too long. I really wanted to do a couple things. I wanted to first say that this is a beast, hands down, no arguments and debates. I wanted to also say that if you are a beat maker and all of that, this is something to pursue. And also, you might want this performer, because if you've ever been curious about modular and Eurorack stuff, this is a dope way to kind of start exploring that and have CV that you can modulate effects and then get, these cool effects on here that you can engage with a press of a button the way we used to doing on SP1200. On SP404s and stuff. Right? Let's see. So yeah, at any rate, and I also want to test out my new setup. As you can see right over here, the new ATM Mini, this camera, that camera, this camera, and all that stuff to make sure it's set up good. So part of the reason I don't do reviews as much as I used to is because I hate editing, bro. I can't stand it. I really hate editing, and I ain't balling in the sense where I can have somebody edit these joints. So now I got to set up where I can live stream and I can jump on right quick and just show you what I think about a piece of gear without having to go back and do a bunch of editing and stuff. So at any rate, there'll be more of these coming up, and I appreciate you. Share this joint, subscribe, like, and I'll be back with some more thoughts and stuff about the the S2400. Brad from Isla Instruments, and everybody that helped work on this joint. Bravo, my friend. Bravo. Peace.